Carabao Cup time, it's back here on the United Stand. This is your road trip ahead of tonight's game against Crystal Palace. We've been here before, haven't we? Manchester United, cup draw, at home. This is the third season now where we haven't had an away draw in any domestic cup competition. All last season, the season before we were crap under Ole and we got knocked out quite early in both cups, so it doesn't really matter. But yeah, another home draw for Manchester United to get their teeth into. Crystal Palace, I remember last time we played Crystal Palace in the Carabao Cup, I think it was. I remember that goal from Ambrose as well, top bins. I think it was Pilkington in goal that night. If you're old enough like me, you'll remember that goal. But this is what happens in Carabao Cup, League Cup, however you want to do it, however you want to talk about it. League Cup competitions, early doors, early rounds, mistakes are made. I mean, you only have to look at Spurs, high flying in the Premier League right now, knocked out in the first round. Not even the third round, where all the other Premier League teams are joining in tonight. But United just have to be on their guard. This is our competition, we are the holders, and I think it's only right that we put a strong enough team out tonight against Crystal Palace to actually take this competition seriously. I mean, the pressure that is on Ten Hag at the moment, we all know is immense. The pressure will come off if we get another cup, yes, and if it is another Carabao Cup, it's still another trophy in the coffers, and it helps Ten Hag. It just keeps him, I wouldn't say in a job, but it just helps keep his job a little bit easier. Makes it easier as such, because honestly right now, if you ask me if I think we're going to finish in the top four, I would say no. Well, comparing everyone's transfer windows off and the way that everyone's started this season, I think Manchester United are struggling. I would say fifth. I know in our luck, if the Glazers are still in situ, that fifth position, with the way that the Champions League is being formatted for next season, the extra place that's going to be given to the Premier League teams because of our standings and our history and our sort of winning every single European competition that there practically is at the moment, we get an extra place. So United will probably end up finishing fifth and still scraping through the back door of the Champions League. If the Glazers are gone, we won't. But just because they're here and it gives them that little bit of money just to cling on to United, that's what will happen. I guarantee it. Manchester United will finish fifth, clip up this video right now and say, Adam said it, in September 2023-2024 season, the night before we played Palace in the third round of the Carabao Cup, United will finish fifth and will scrape into the Champions League in that extra position given by UEFA because English teams have done so well in Europe. If the Glazers stay. If they don't, we probably won't finish fifth, we'll probably finish sixth and be back in the Europa League. That's just my prediction on that. But back to tonight's game. It's hard to sometimes get excited or get up for a Carabao Cup game. You're expecting changes, and normally you would say you're expecting disruption to the team. But right now I think a lot of fans are sort of excited about this because we are going to be changing the team a little bit, and it's a change in the team from what's been underperforming all season. Some of the time in the season, people just like to see players come in, hungrier players, younger players, youth players. Give them something else to cheer about, something else to watch rather than the same old players week in, week out, continuously failing and not being able to handle the pressure of wearing Manchester United shirts in the Premier League. It is a good cutaway for United. It is a good respite. Sort of take your mind and you focus off the pressures of the league. Funnily enough, we've got Palace again at weekend, as everyone knows, here at Old Trafford. So double header this week with them. 2 wins against Palace, not a bad week, and it sort of goes a little bit to calming things down here at Old Trafford a little bit. Obviously, we've got everything that's going on off the pitch. Results on the pitch are our only saviour right now. I've said that twice already this season on fan vlogs and road trip videos. But yeah, I feel like double header against Palace, win both of these, beat Galatasaray next week, and then we've got Brentford at home again. Then it's all these home games and you're thinking, if we cannot get 4 wins in a row at home against that opposition, then we really are doomed, aren't we? It could go a long, long way to actually just stabilising us before that next international break. And you know, coming into that last international break, beaten by Arsenal, coming back, then getting beat by Brighton, what a whole difference it's going to be. It'll be a completely different outlook coming back from an international break, having won 4 in a row, progressing in all 3 competitions that we're playing in, and then that fresh start again when we come back. Players fully integrated, maybe some injuries back. It's looking a bit brighter. That's the only hope for United right now, that Ten Hag gets it right on the pitch. For anyone to sort of come out of Old Trafford or have a positive feeling about their football club, it's what happens on the pitch. In terms of the team that I would pick, We had a debate yesterday on a Twitter space on the United stand about Raphael Varane. Should he start? Should we rest him? Is it more important with the injuries we've got that we actually bring Varane in at weekend instead of tonight? Well, I think if you are going to give him any minutes tonight, it needs to be from the start. Like I said, I always found that coming into a team when the game is running and he's already at its tempo and you're coming back off a big injury, I feel like that's important. And sometimes you struggle to catch up with the pace of the game, and that's when injuries happen, when you're trying to do too much. If you're starting the game from the start and you're up to pace and you're totally in tune with it, maybe just do that with Raphael Varane, I feel. Start him. If you have to bring him off at half-time or 60 minutes, do that. Give him the minutes he needs from the start, I say. I just find it easier. Like I said, if we're chasing a game and Varane comes on, then you do things that you wouldn't normally do. You're not in control of the game. You're pushing even harder. Let him start the game and let him build his way up, get a feel for it, then bring him off, make sure it's safe, and then he's ready for Saturday. That's how I would do it. I want to see Garnacho, I want to see Palestra. I say I want to see Martial, but I know what I'm getting out of him. There's nothing. But players need resting, players need chance to get game time. But then I bring in the actual pressure that Ten Hag is under again, and you go, will he actually play a strong team because he's under that much pressure? I remember it was Sam Allardyce one time, when he was managing Bolton all them years ago, and he said, I'd made a decision, we were under pressure in the league, we were on a bad run, and we had a cup game coming up. I think it was an early round of an FA Cup, so they were struggling in the league around January. The cup game came around and he went, just to get that winning feeling, I played my strongest side against one of the lower league teams in the league, and we won really well. And it just gives them players that little bit of confidence, 3 or 4 goals and a comfortable win. Just give us that boost going into the next Premier League game. I've got a feeling, I'm not comparing us to Bolton, don't get me wrong, but a very similar situation that we can relate to here at United right now is like some of these players that are underperforming, maybe they can find something in a game like this. So is Ten Hag going to go strong? Our captain Bruno Fernandes will probably play. He plays him every single game. And if you look back to last season, there wasn't wholesale changes when these cup competitions came around. Remember, we were all outside Old Trafford bemoaning the starting lineup. Why is he not resting this player and that player? Let's be honest, we went right to the end near enough in every single cup competition we were in last season, barring that Europa League. Maguire, De Gea. But that's how I think he's going to go again. He's not going to change in one season, is he? He's going to mix it up, bring in a few players. I think there's no excuse not to play Palestra and Garnacho on either side. Will Højlund get more minutes? Will he still play him, finding his feet? I mean, I would love to see a front three of Højlund, Garnacho and Palestra. I called it out for the game against Burnley. I just want to see that youthfulness in attack, that fearlessness, and let them feed off each other. Rashford, I think, needs time out anyway. I've said that already and everyone knows that. I love Rashford, but when he's off form, he really doesn't give anything to the team for me. And he just needs to take time out, I think. He needs time on the bench, and I think he'll learn from that. I think in this competition tonight, I think Palace will be looking at this and probably not playing the strongest side. So let's give Garnacho and Palestra the chance to play together. They're good mates as well. And you know what, like I said, that youthfulness up front. Maybe solidify the midfield a bit. I think Amrabat needs to come in, and Mount needs to come in, and Bruno. That would probably be my midfield three. Bruno, Mount, Amrabat. That may be one for the future, you never know. 2 signings for Ten Hag this season, that could be the way forward for United. You just don't know. But games like this, you can find yourself finding something. Ten Hag may stumble upon something. He did it last season at different stages in competitions where something worked really well for us. And this is why I feel Palestra was never sent out on loan. Because there were moments in competitions in the Cups and then late on in league games where he came on and he always had something. He always did something or created something. And in the end, they found it too hard to let him go out on loan. And now he's looking at a new contract. This is what happens in these competitions. Youth players like Gore, Hannibal, you could see them play again. Everyone's shouting for Hannibal to start again because he had such a good game against Burnley. I mean, do you agree? Obviously, drop your comments in below. Should Hannibal be used in the home game here against Palace at weekend? This is where we're at now with these young players. They're taking the chance, and hopefully we get another one tonight. But yeah, defensively, I've already said Varane. Maybe Maguire comes back in if he's fit. I mean, honestly, we have to play him at some point. He's in the squad, isn't he? So Maguire maybe alongside Varane. And then the fullbacks, well, who've we got? Who's available? It probably will be Reguilon and Dalot if Reguilon is fit. And there's not really much else we can do. Them two right now are like our second and third choice, you could say, in them two positions. And will he play Bayende in goal? Will he get his debut? I don't know. Maybe he feels like Onana, like a few of the other first team players who've been playing from the start of the season, just need more game time, just need to build that confidence. And I feel like that's what you can get. It can go either way. I do want to know though, are you bothered about this competition? Get that comment in below. Are you bothered if we go out tonight and then these players get a little bit more rest? We've seen how tired we was the back end of last season. We already look a little bit up against it this season. Are you bothered if we go out this competition? Would you make wholesale changes, or would you give the players a chance to build some confidence off that Burnley game and play a strong team? And of course, score predictions in below, everybody. I'm going to go for a 4-1 United tonight. That's how I feel. I feel like we are going to get that strong team, and we are going to get some performances and a few cobwebs shaken off by a few players tonight. A little bit of fun. If it turns out to be a drab, dull 1-0, 0-0, extra time, whatever, you can just throw all your blame on me. I will take it on my shoulders and accept it for you. And yeah, just throw me all the stick you want. But yes, that rounds up everything. Cheers for watching, everyone. I'll see you outside Old Trafford tonight. Looking forward to the draw tomorrow, hopefully with United in that round. Like, share and subscribe to the United Stand as always. Cheers for watching, everyone. See you later.